I just wanted to show you when I bought this Chevy Volt last June in 2017. It had these dings all over it. And the dealership, this is from Hale, it was in Texas, but I bought the car in Ogden, Utah. That was the only thing wrong with this car, is the multiple dings that were on it. And thusly, they made this a salvage title. The insurance, they made an insurance claim, and all the cars that were setting out in the lot were filed for insurance, and the insurance company paid off, I guess, the dealership, and the person I bought it, or the company I bought it from in Ogden, sold them all as salvage vehicles. I am showing you underneath the hood of this Chevy Volt. This is about a 15-liter, 4-cylinder gasoline generator engine. And way back underneath here is where the problem is. And that's why I think this is a bunch of crap that General Motors doesn't cover this problem. Your back of the engine is your air conditioning, your electronic AC compressor, and that is where the problem began. This is why I think it's a bunch of crap. This is a high pressure line that sits behind there and it hooks up to the AC compressor. And right here, I don't know if I can focus on this, right here where my finger is a crack. And this is a factory defect. This cost $1,780 for the dealer to replace this AC compressor, high pressure hose. And the problem was right here. When I first took it in, the AC compressor does a lot of things. It cools the cabin, but it cools the motor assembly, and the battery pack. It does 3 different functions. And when I first took it into General Motors, or to the dealership, they said it was the AC compressor that was bad. And I said, well, it could be a hose. And for a DIYer, this requires a special, you have to vacuum, you have to flush the system, and it takes a special oil. You just can't buy off the shelf. In fact, the dealership had to order this part, which no dealer in the United States had, and General Motors didn't have this high pressure hose. They had to manufacture it. So my car was in the shop for 3 weeks waiting for General Motors to manufacture this hose. This is definitely a factory defect. And the guy says, well, your Freon froze. I says, Freon doesn't freeze. Now, I live in North Dakota, and it gets 10 to 20 below zero in the wintertime, but this car was garaged in the winter, but it got cold. And this is a defect with this particular hose right here, this crack. So I bought a AC compressor because that's what I thought it was. They said that's what it was, so I bought one on eBay, and it wasn't the compressor at all. It was this hose. So that's why I think this is a bunch of crap that GM does not cover a factory defect, even though it's a salvage title. The only good thing about it is Rydell, the Chevrolet dealer I took it to, is actually a very good company. I don't mind taking my car in there because they don't rip you off. Original quote was $3,000 if the AC compressor was bad to fix this car. In normal cars, the AC compressor is so you can change it yourself, but it's way in the back here. You have to disassemble a whole bunch of stuff, and then the system had to be flushed, and it takes a special oil to put back in there. And this just wasn't accessible to me, even though I have pretty good skills, but not that good. Anyway, I just thought I would say this is about the AC problem that I had, because you really have to have an AC compressor, especially in the summertime. Even though the cabin gets hot, but you need to cool your motor assembly, and you need to cool your batteries. Just to let you know, this is what an AC compressor looks like. You got your high pressure, low pressure, This is your high voltage input, and of course 12 volt controls of the unit itself. And this bolts on to the back of the 1500cc engine, the gasoline generator engine that's provided in the Chevy Volt, with a V. You have to have this. This is mandatory that this is operational in your electric vehicle, especially when you have active cooling, battery pack cooling, and you also need it for your motor. That has to be cool too.